Okay, today I'm going to do a small video on the repair procedure for Airtech coatings. It's very similar to a lot of different companies' fabric covering system. The piece I have here, I've cut like an inch hole, just representing a repair. Naturally, if you're out in the bush or out somewhere, like say a super cub or something, you'd want to carry some temporary tape or gorilla tape or something of that nature to get you back, but that's not a permanent fix. And I'm gonna show 2 or 3 procedures here. One would be just basically just getting it patched. If your airplane's not really a show winner and it's kind of road war and you just want to repair and keep going. And the other one will be to kind of show you how to blend stuff in to make it look right. And this one here will be showing how to go ahead, like if you had a repair and on a vertical or an area to where you could go ahead and skip over to a next rib or something, so you wouldn't have a tape line or a patch line out in it. Like say you've got a fairly new plane and you don't want to have to recover something, but you want to do it to where someone pretty well would have to look to try to find the problem. Our procedure for repair is in our covering manual, procedure manual. You'll want to refer to your 4313, your FAA manual on patch sizes and areas and overlaps. But what I've done here is, in a sense, you could just do this process raw and just let it go wherever, but it goes back to the neatness. What I did was just found something where I'm gonna be about a 2-inch outside of the hole. I just used this and I went on ahead and marked my area, and I went on ahead and cut some patches that size. What you want to do first, if you have to be careful because some people may have top coated with another product, and I can't guarantee what their product does with our glue on it, but what our procedure basically is you just take some 320, 220 or some medium grade sandpaper, and what you're going to want to do is rough up this paint. And in this situation, I'm going to rough it up right to the edge of this line because there ain't no use in putting a bunch of glue where it's not needed. And on these, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rough the paint, but ideally would be sand it back to the point that you start to see the fabric primer lightly. And that way, you're just taking some layers loose. It will glue to the paint, but we'll sand it back to where you're starting to see the primer in some areas. And at that point, you'll have everything ready, and you can take some of RA4000 glue reducer or something and clean the area where you've sanded and have it ready to accept the patch. So I'm gonna stop the video now and go ahead and get these areas as ready. On this area, what I'm gonna do is kind of represent that you're gonna put the fabric on at a much larger area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sand the edge here and rough this up. On a really large area, you would basically be gluing, look at your 4313, whatever your overlap requirements are, and you're basically gonna be treating it like another open bay fabric. Usually not gonna glue it all in here, you're just gonna actually put a whole new panel in and stretch it. So I'm just gonna kind of represent that here. That's not a normal way of patching, but sometimes people will go ahead and put a small patch over the hole and then blend everything in and then put a large patch so everything is smooth. So I'm gonna stop the video and get these sanded back. At this point, I've got these roughed up, and just for time purposes, I didn't sand them down to the primer. On this, it's not that important, but everything here has been roughed up. And what I did was put a boundary layer around this and roughed it up. I want to make one mention. If your hole is really tore and jagged, at that point you want to maybe take a razor or something and trim up your hole. Urethane paints have a tendency of, when they're on the surface properly and they've cured, they're under somewhat of a tension. And when you make a cut, that tension wants to start to slowly pull the fabric away and make the fabric open up this way. So if it's been a while since the tear has happened, it may kind of slowly turn up a sharp edge. You'll want to cut that area to get the sharp edge back down, or it's going to be constantly up into your fabric, you know, and showing. These are not standing up yet, but what I do in that situation is when I put my glue down and I glue my fabric piece on, a lot of times I will leave the very center not glued until you can get this glued a little bit, and then lightly take an iron at about 250 and that center part kind of shrink the patch down, and that will pull everything together, and then finish gluing it. Same way here, you know, you're going to glue around the outside, and then the center is going to be loose, and at some point you're going to shrink the center part on this type deal, and that's just going to be like repairing a whole panel with a lap joint. But these, you know, I still sometimes will leave the center out and then shrink that little center part at the last moment. At this point, it's going to go on very similar, or basically exactly like putting the tapes on. You're going to reduce the UA55 to 1 part glue and 3 parts RA4000 reducer. And it goes back to neatness. You know, you want to, you know, a lot of times what you'll do, if you're on the top of a stab, you'll want to lay out paper or something here for drips or anything, and just have the area that you're working, you know, like on this sanding, sometimes it helps to go ahead and take a piece of blue fine line tape and circle this, and then put like masking tape or something and tape it all off. That way when you're sanding, you don't accidentally sand out on your shiny part, and it keeps everything within it. But your reduced glue, your thin rate glue, you just want to be careful and just try to stay right at that line. And you're gonna put 2 layers of glue down and let them dry about 5 minutes in between. Okay, we had a little sound or something came in and had to stop the video. So I think where I was at was saying you're gonna put 2 coats and letting them dry about 5 minutes in between. And you know when it's dry, when it's just an opaque color, you know, like you have on putting on the tapes and everything. And you're gonna put 2 good thin coats to get you a glue base down. And once those are dry, then you'll be ready to wet in or put down a wet coat and lay the fabric in at that point. And then after the fabric is on and you've stretched the middle, then you'll put 2 more thin coats on top. So it'll be a couple thin coats, and then wet in a coat or wet it and lay your fabric, your patch in, and then 2 more thin coats. And you'll want to try, like I said, keep it neat, but you'll keep your glue right to the edge. So I'll stop the video and I'll take care of that. Okay, at this point I've got 2 coats of the thin glue on these and around the perimeter. I'm gonna put these patches on in 2 ways. First way, I'm gonna show it like the way I like to put on tapes, and it just allows you to rub the tape in all around the stitches better than wetting it in, is to go ahead and put a thin, 1 more thin coat, wet coat. And like I mentioned in one of the first couple videos, it's good to have a good corner edge brush, you know, one that's gonna cost $7, $8, $10, you know, rather than the little $2 ones. It has just a better edge for putting the glue right where you need it. All right, now I've got a wet coat down there. And you can rub everything in. Now, like I said, these are not opening up. I'm not going to do the pre-shrinking. I will take an iron and corner the edges down, but basically I have wetted it and I've rubbed the patch down in it, and at that point I want to continue to carry glue through this side. You know, there's people that will want to just use straight glue reducer or whatever and wet it through with that, and that does work. It does activate the glue, but you're only activating what glue is already down, and it's only going to come up into the fabric patch just so far. So I always like to take glue this direction down to the other side. Now the other way would be lay your patch down. And on this, like I said before, I like putting the tapes down the other way, but on this situation, it probably doesn't make a lot of difference. It's just It just seemed like if I wet everything and rub it in, it just does a better job. But basically, I'm wetting it and going all the way around the perimeter, and there'll be a little bit of a glue line around the edge that we will take an iron at about 250 and fan out before we get ready to put a little primer on it. And like I said, I'm doing these kind of at extreme. You know, it's you know, if you have a hole in your airplane, that's a serious thing. So it's not a matter of, you know, bragging about how easy your system patches or not, because it's not a regular basis that'll get a hole in my plane. But when you do, it's not the end of the world, and it's not a big intense, you know, situation to repair. The worst part is you've got aircraft that's covered with Airtech, and you've got a little hole this size, and you call me, and I am putting together a repair kit, because the way we're set up now, you'd have to buy a quart of glue and a quart of primer and catalyst, and you know, you may be out, you know, $200 or $300 to where I'm gonna go ahead and put together what you call a repair kit, which is very small amount of glue and reducer and fabric, you know, primer for these situations. So I wetted that one in, and I've put one more coat through this one. So this one will get one more coat on the top. This one will get two more because I wetted in the one coat, and I used that coat just wetting it in. I like to let them dry a little bit in between. Let's see, turn it over this way a little bit. And on this one, you know, there's a situation, say you're going all the way to a tape line or a hard line on the airplane. You can wet all the areas and do like we did the first one. What I'm gonna do on this one is just pre-wet one side so that I can see what I'm doing. I'll get everything pre-cut here. And that way I can feel it go through the surface, and that kind of holds it all square. And then go ahead to this line, and I got a line where you can kind of see through it. I transferred it through the fabric to know where my blue line was at. Get a little wrinkle while you're wetting it. You can kind of move the fabric and move it out to work it out. And if you get a little wrinkle that won't come out, you can always take the iron and take it out later. I kind of hold the edge and kind of keep it as tight as possible, but we are going to shrink that center part. But I'm going to go all the way around the perimeter of this, and I'm using the wet-in method on the three sides. And this top side that I put it under the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and take some through the top of it. So at this point, I'm gonna stop the video and let this dry for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back, put my other coats on. Being that you're gonna stretch this like you are a normal wing or everything, the three settings on the iron, you may wanna let this type repair dry overnight, because you're not wanting to pull this fabric loose. The glue may be dry, but it's what we call in the green state, that it could pull a little. So I'd usually let that overlap, you know, dry overnight. And on a wing, you're going to be a larger overlap. Like I said, you refer to your 4313 and as far as your overlap. So it'd probably be a larger overlap if you're doing like a bay of a wing or something like that. So I'll stop the video and I'll go ahead and get the final coats on these. Okay, at this point, I've got all the final glue on everything, and what you can do is take an iron, set it about 250, and any imperfections you can lightly, you know, work across and fix. And what I like to do is take the very edge, just like you do your tapes. Now you'll need to be careful not to put the hard iron out on your paint, you know, to mar your paint up. But you're gonna go around every edge, and you're gonna try to, I don't know what that was on the glue, but go around all the edges and smooth them down at that point. And that's going to get you down smooth. and this one would be the one that you would shrink and do the normal shrink stages between each one. At this point, it gets back into paint technique. On this one, I was just gonna show a regular patch. You just mask off, put your 1030 primer on, you could either spray on or brush on, but you're gonna have to, if you brush on, you're gonna have to sand it smooth. You'll mask everything off and put your fabric primer filler. That will fill the weave. If you really are just not worried about it at all, you could just paint this patch, but the fabric primer will fill that weave, and then when it's cured a day or so, then you can sand everything down level and then do your normal painting. These two patches are done in the same similar fashion. On this one, you would naturally do your priming, and to hide your lines, you would probably put a tape line just outside of that and put your primer line up to that. Once it's cured, you'll want to pull your tape off and move out just a little more, because you're going to have a hard line. If you stack your primer and your paint on the single pull line, you're going to get a really sharp line that you're going to see. What I like to do is pull that line off, tape off once I put my primer on, and then maybe move out 1/8 of an inch or so, and go ahead and take, sandpaper or something, roll it up on the edge and take that line down that come from your tape on your primer. And at that point, if you're up to say a rib or wherever, you can go ahead and skip on out and rough your paint up a little bit. And what I do sometimes is take a piece of just regular old green, the masking tape, and mark a line down it, and take your time with a pinking shear and pink edge a piece of just regular green tape, and let that be your paint line for your final paint. And what that does is create the illusion, once you've peeled everything off, as long as your paint's matching really well, it's just gonna create an illusion of a normal tape line with that jagged edge versus a straight edge that's slowly gonna kind of catch dirt, and then you will see it. So that pinked edge will give you that illusion that you really have to hunt for it to find the repair. I had seen Kenny Blaylock at Special Product Aviation do repairs such as these on the side of a plane that when the owner come back, he would think that he actually had to recover the plane or do something, because he actually couldn't. He had to really hunt to figure out where the lines were or where the repair is at. So that's where I was taught to do that repair. So this will be the end of the video, because the rest of it's just paint techniques. It can be brushed or sprayed on. You're going to smooth it up with, say 320 sandpaper before your paint, and then whatever paint technique you have. It's just a matter of, you're going to have a line out here, a paint line. If you're just wanting to repair and not worry about it, you could do a pink line around this, but you are going to see an edge. You could put the tape line out past this and put the primer on pretty thick, so that you could actually sand this primer down to where this edge of this pink actually almost goes away, and then blend in. And that's where you maybe have just a paint line to paint a whole section, but you didn't repair the whole part. And this is the full cover repair that you'll be shrinking, and you'll be worried about your line out here. So that'll be the end of this video. That's just your basic repairs for Airtech, and it's similar to the same repair for the other systems too.